I am Beth, your resident music nerd, back with a deconstruction from Anastasia. In this week's video, we're going to go through the song We'll Go From There and talk about some musical elements that I love. So, let's get started. At this point in the musical, Vlad, sung by John Bolton, Dmitri, sung by Derek Klena, and Anastasia, sung by Christy Altaber, are all fleeing from Russia on a train. And they're singing about their journey so far, and their life choices, and what they're going to do when they get to their destination. And I love this song, and I think it's so fun because it does a lot of stuff with chromatics for harmonies, and there's always many moving parts and harmonies all at once. So starting out, I love these strings underneath John Bolton's part. They go like this. And then it's very fun underneath John Bolton singing to himself about what he's going to do when he gets to Paris. And then when he gets to, and though I know I've grown a tiny bit gray, some women say I look distinguished this way, there's these flutes that come in, or these wind instruments that sound like this. I've grown a tiny bit gray, some women say I look distinguished this way. Again, with the chromatics. I love that, because if it were a person singing it, you could totally hear them singing that chromatic scale. And though I know I've grown a tiny bit gray, some women say I look distinguished this way. But in this case, it's done by the winds, and then it's done again. I'll go as if I'm still a frisky young pup. Let's hope that I can straighten up. So I love those chromatics underneath what Bolton is singing. And then I also love this little gasp that he does. He's like, we'll also have dinner! It's so cute. So let's listen to all of these.
I hope Lily's happy to see me. Be honest, Vlad, pop off. How could she not be? I may have gotten fatter, but maybe that won't matter. Bottom line, I'll win her. We'll do some reminiscing. She'll see what she's been missing over wine and dinner. And though I know I've grown a tiny bit gray, some women say I look distinguished this way. I'll bow as if I'm still a frisky young pup. Let's hope that I can straighten up. If she says no, we'll all lay low and we'll go from there.
So that is Vlad's part, and every time we go through one of the three characters' parts, keep it in mind for the end, because if you remember last week's video about counterpoint, that comes back in. Now we're getting into Anastasia's solo. Just like with Vlad, we're going to hear the bum-bum-bum-bums with the strings leading up to her solo. Not only is there a modulation, but the chromatics are a little different. So we're listening for... And that's going to be bounced, because there are a lot of bouncy chords underneath what she's singing. And then I really love the transition that happens into Dmitri's solo. So she goes, this chance is all I've got. And after she sings this chance, then Dmitri comes in singing, this chance is all I've got. And it's such a great transition. It sounds so satisfying to me, and it makes some great harmonies. And while all of that is happening, we're hearing this. Sound familiar? Well, it should, because it's what Vlad was singing. And though I know I've grown a tiny bit gray, some women say I look distinguished this way. It's the same harmonies, but done in the instrumentals that happen during this transition. So let's listen for all of these elements happening at once.
Hand shaking, heart thundering, meet a royal mess. Start smiling, stop wondering, why did I say yes? This chance is all I've got. Keep a grip and take a deep breath, and soon we'll know what's what. Put on our show, rewards will flow, and we'll go from there.
Now this upcoming section is my favorite section of the song, and here's why. So the entire ensemble comes in now, singing, oh what a lovely ride, and what a lovely day. But the tenors are going, oh what a lovely ride, and what a lovely day. And I know it's a very simple harmony, descant, but it sounds so good, and it's so satisfying to listen to. Just those two lines together sound great. And then they go, for a totally illegal, lovely getaway. So there are a couple things in here that I love. So you have the melody, but the men are going, for a totally illegal, lovely, da-da. That chromatic, that D sharp in there, just makes it adds this little shimmer, this fun little sneaking sense, as it literally says in the sheet music that I'm looking at right now, sneaky, so it adds that sneakiness to it. And then instead of going, totally illegal, lovely getaway, sort of playing it straight, there's actually a rest, so it's totally illegal, lovely getaway, and that adds so much fun to it. It's like a little jump, you know, totally illegal, lovely getaway. It's so much fun. And then finally, instead of just singing like getaway and, you know, sort of like letting the instruments do the melody work here while everyone's holding out one note, the tenors again come through with this really fun little line, hey. So you get to listen to that and it's not stagnant. So let's listen to all these things that I love. Now, remember last week how I talked about counterpoint? Guess what happens? So all the melodies that we listened to, Vlad's, Dimitri's, and Anastasia's, all come together, and all of their counter melodies create this fun little counterpoint section. So let's listen to that.
I'll win her with why did I say yes, dinner and the last chance? Some women say keep it quick and take it away. A vow is a ship and we'll know what's more that I can straighten up, but no more doubt.
So in the final stretch of this song, we've got some rising versus falling melodies, a really cool chord, some more moving harmonies, and then possibly a vowel disagreement, but we'll get to that one. So first off, we've got, but no more doubt, no time to spare, we're nearly out, so let's prepare. So I love how the rising melody and the falling melody are already set up, so when they are sung at the same time, they meet in the middle on that B and G. That's so cool. It's really tightly written. And then we've got this really cool A-flat 7 chord. So everyone is singing, and we'll go from there, and Dimitri goes up to a D. So it's, and we'll go. So there's this perfect fifth being sung on a G and a D at the same time, on top of an A-flat major chord. So it sounds like this. So it's an A-flat 7, and the D creates a sustained 4. And it sounds so cool. It's like one last little shimmer for the song. And then there's a melody at the very end when everyone's holding out the final note. And again, sort of like the callback to the melody, harmony. It's cool because it creates a little moving part and it stops it from being stagnant. Now, for the final word. The final word is the word there. We'll go from there. And that's an vowel. And there's an at the end of it. And I think the difficulty is knowing when to close to the because at one point, everyone is singing there, and someone starts closing like they go like there, but then they're like, oh shoot, no one else is closing, so I'm not going to close all the way. I don't know who it is. It kind of sounds like John Bolton, but I really don't think so. I don't want to, like, call him out. But, like, I cannot tell who it is. But someone starts closing and then doesn't close all the way. And it's adorable, it's cute, it's hilarious, and we're gonna listen for it. Let's listen to all these things.
It's enough, but no more doubt.
No time to spare.
We're nearly out.
So let's bring